Now there have been some incredible Nintendo Switch 1 and a couple of Switch 2 releases in the last few weeks, and there are some coming out very soon. I thought I would hijack the upcoming game series this week to talk about games that I've been playing quite a bit on Switch 1 actually, and of course add in some that are coming in the next week or so that look quality. As always, a big thanks to all of you that enjoy the content. If you want to save yourself some money, you can do so over at switchup.gg. You get 5% in cashback. I think it was our biggest month in about 3 years last month in terms of people using that, so there's obviously still the backlog being increased regardless of whether you're Switch 1 or 2. Alright, what are the best new releases? Well, let's find out. Let's kick off then with UFO 50. Now this was very briefly shown at the Indie Direct, and there were a lot of people like myself who would have liked to see it get much more of a focus and a feature. And like many of you, I hadn't played or heard of these before, and I started to do my research, and then you realise the cult following the games have got and how highly rated the package is as a whole. So what actually is it? But you have these 50 single games that have essentially got overlapping elements to them. They span a load of different genres. So you've got roguelites, you've got RPGs. A lot of those experiences are also multiplayer, so I think it's up to 3 players on some of them. And this one came out for Windows PC in 2024. It ended up being the highest rated PC title, I believe, on Metacritic for that year. So from the package you can see it's kind of presented like a collection of classics, isn't it? But it's a fictional collection, if you will. Now, not fictional in the sense that they're not real games, but fictional as like a fictional company that tries to show the history of this UFO Soft's development slate. But some of these are cracking. Now, I've only played a few so far, but when you complete them, it like changes their color on the main screen, adding in new win conditions, and from my understanding, there's actually like a 51st game in the selection. I think the thing with it is that every single one of those games feels like it was a title that existed. They're fun, they're well designed, and they're challenging. If I'm not mistaken, I think he made this in Game Maker Studio, so it goes to show what you can create, you know, if you just have an idea and you want to do it. It's already out, you can see the prices on the screen, and very highly recommended. Then we've got a game that comes out next week, and it is actually the sponsor of this episode. It's called Iwakura Aria, and it's being brought to us by P-Cube, and I've been playing a lot of it. Now, I seem to have got back into visual novels. I went back and played a game called KGB that I absolutely loved from back in the day, and it's sparked something in me. I don't know what it is, maybe I'm just old. But this has a beautiful art style. It's all set after the war, where Japan has experienced a rapid economic growth, and you start out as a girl who's in an orphanage looking for a job, and she gets employed by this family. Now there's a lot of mystery around why exactly the Iwakura family are so renowned, and it does an excellent job of gradually building up the suspense and the mystery. It starts so ordinary, I guess is the word. It's like a day in the life of this girl. You learn about the new environment, you talk to people, you move around the house, but yeah, things don't go as you would expect, and it carries an 18 rating for a very specific reason. I think fans of visual novels who have played a lot more than I have will really get to grips with this one. Certainly has a slower start, but after that, yeah, you can definitely sink your teeth into it, and it has multiple endings as well. I think it's 9 different endings. As I say, that one launches on August the 14th. It's developed by Majors, and it's just a 1.2 gigabyte download.
Yourself uncovering unnerving secrets. And turning your attention to truths that you're not supposed to be party to.
Heretic and Hexen was released by Bethesda in the last few days. Originally being made on a version of the Doom engine, came out on the 7th of August, launches at £13.49 here in the UK or your regional equivalents, and it's Heretic and Hexen. These are some of the best first-person shooters. Everyone talks about Doom, Quake, but for me, it was always about Hexen. Just moving away from guns and things like that and towards spells and that side. It just clicked with me more as a child. I loved it. Now don't get me wrong, Duke Nukem was still the king for me, but Heretic and Hexen, you should certainly check this out. It's only about £13 for both games bundled together. I am working on a review for it because I think it deserves one. That'll probably be out on Monday or Tuesday Tuesday. But not only does it have all the Hexen goodness, it also comes with 2 new maps that were created in collaboration with ID Software and Night Dive Studios. It features co-op modes as well and online cross-platform play. Man, all for about 12 or 13 quid. That is a bargain. And it actually features in-game mod support as well. Next up, we've got Ninja Gaiden Ragebound from .emu, and this is yet another game that I purchased for review, have played through almost all of it. I can tell you it is easily a 90% plus game. It's brilliant. The controls are so tight. It feels like a hybrid, so you've got this side-scrolling action, lots of verticality as well, but it's one of the most precise action games I have played in years. It's just so crunchy. When you do your dodges, they're like instantaneous. It also gives you a really cool mechanic, so if you're in the air, you know, like when you can see danger coming, you're like, it's over. Here, you can press the jump button again, and it does this like spin attack that then allows you to keep going. It'll bounce off of the projectile or the enemy if you're about to hit danger. And you can also just hit their projectiles back at them. So if they throw something in your face, you can just swipe it away and keep running. There is a feeling of speedrun about this. I can imagine speedrunners would have a field day. But yeah, don't sleep on this one. I wanted to talk about it. I really wanted to get a review out, but we've obviously had holidays Glen's away now for a few days at least, but it gets the definite SwitchUp seal of add this to your backlog. What a game. In a similar vein, we've got Turbo Kid, another that's already out on Nintendo Switch 1, and that's developed by Outer Minds. I had to go and watch the film just as my research for the review that we've got up on the channel. Spoiler warning, it's another one, like the one I've just spoken about, that absolutely should not be missed, even if it's just added to your wish list. Now, the film Turbo Kid is like a 2015 Canadian-funded post-apocalyptic film centered around Turbo Kid, who rides around on a BMX. He's just called the Kid in the film. He loves his comic books, and it is quality. There's a guy on the channel called Chicken Perm, and I think he's been banging on about this for years, or at least the film, and now we obviously have the game and he's loving it as well. So go check out that full review for 15 odd quid. I think it's £15.69 or your regional equivalent. It's out already. Such a good game. A full Metroidvania featuring a BMX. Happy days. Ritual of Raven from Team 17 was under my radar, really. This one quietly released on the 7th, a couple of days ago. It currently has a 10% discount actually, but it's only $14.99, and it's a story-based farm sim, and I know we have a lot of those, we've seen a lot, but the twist here is that you don't do the farming directly yourself. You have to enchant these arcane constructs to grow your herb gardens. You're joined by your little familiar called Raven, and you go around gathering up the information and the ingredients to perform those rituals. It has a bit of a deck mechanic, like deck building mechanic, where you use this like mystical deck of cards to then enchant those constructs to do things like plowing, sowing seeds, watering, harvesting, and there are 22 different constructs that you can get. Yes, there's a big community to make friends with, learn about their backstories, all that good stuff you come to expect, but a nice little twist on the genre. I'll be keen to get a bit more time with this one. It's only 490 megs, and it comes from Spell Garden Games and Team 17. As I say, it came out on the 7th. The House of the Dead 2 remake is another one that dropped on the 7th. We loved the first game. It had a few performance issues, but I mean, it's a classic, isn't it? And we don't have enough new light gun stuff. You know, I'd love to see Time Crisis come to the Switch. One of my all-time favorites. This one doesn't need a huge amount of explanation. It's the sequel to House of the Dead. As you go through each stage, if you can be quick enough, then you can unlock loads of different paths and routes through it. And they are very, very addictive once you get into them. They also feature 2-player co-op, and they're out now. Another that came out that you may not have noticed was the Apex Legends Nintendo Switch 2 release. I did a full performance review on it and it is a cracking title on Switch now. There is a version for both Switch 1 or 2, but the second one essentially runs at 60 frames per second, has mouse mode. It just feels that much better running like this. You can't really play competitively, I don't think, at 30, 25 FPS against people who are on 60 FPS. Now what I will say is, regardless of how good you are at like first person shooters, if you're new to the games, you are going to get rinsed because there's so much about it that you need to know. And look, it has a good tutorial, but you'll probably still get rinsed. You can turn cross-platform play off. At launch there were no other players obviously online when you did that, but I'm sure now it's kind of picked up a bit now the game's been out for a few days. Another that we have a full video on if you're interested in checking that one out, that's Apex Legends, the Switch 2 edition. Then a few games that are coming out in the next week, so these will be available next week as well, a bit like that Aria one. We've got Radiant Guardians of Light from Chorus Games, which is out on the 14th of August, and it releases at £17.99. It all centres around the Kingdom of Helia. You've got the choice of two protagonists, Quinn or Anair, and they're trying to rescue Anair's sister, who's been kidnapped by the big bad. The whole thing is co-op, which is really, I just love to see it. I mean, it helps to have like live-in co-op companions, aka your kids. But this looks interesting. It certainly caught my eye. The whole world is fully handcrafted. You've got loads of bosses. Both those characters have unique combat abilities, and you get to choose your powers, customize your gear, all that good RPG goodness by the looks of it. And that art style, oh, it's nice, isn't it? I'm a real fan of this actually, because if you do this wrong, it looks really cheap. But if you do it right, it just has that quality to it. And as I say, that one releases 1 or 2 players on August the 14th. Strangely, we've got another Bendy and the Bendy and the Ink Machine series. We've got another Bendy game. It's Bendy Lone Wolf from Joey Drew Studios, which launches on the 15th of August, and it takes things in a different direction again. It looks like it takes place over several days, and it has a survival element to it, as you're navigating halls filled with enemies that gets progressively more difficult. And you're not just fighting them, you can also hide, run away, and it has, by the looks of it, a procedural element. By the sounds of this blurb, each time you play it's different, which can be done well, and let's be realistic, sometimes it can be done terribly. So that one's only £15.49. Feels like a bit of a left field spin on the Bendy series. Let's see how it pans out when it releases on August the 15th.
With a frying pan. For guarding the endless halls of the studio are monsters, creatures, deadly gadgets.
Alright, there have been a load of other games that I've been playing that I wanted to talk about. We haven't got time today because, I've got people coming over and I'm smoking a brisket, but that's actually what's happening. But you've got things like the Madden games that have gone flying up the charts. That Shinobi Art of Vengeance demo is, chef's kiss, really worth looking out for, but that's not out for another few weeks yet. And obviously games like Gradius Origins, which we actually have a code to give away for, that's come out from Konami. There are loads, there are lots in that indie direct that perhaps are going to be really looked for. Things like Hurdlings. Let me know down in the comments, what have you been playing, what are you enjoying, are you looking out for any of these ones? As I said at the start, save yourself a bit of bunts, use switchup.gg, get your 5% in cashback, and we get a tiny little kickback from Nintendo. Like a little pat on the head. Well done, lads. Thank you to our Patreons, our members, all of you that enjoy this content, and as always, for all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!